When the sprint term, say 2 weeks, is progressing, what can you do if you face challenges while implementing the sprint backlog items? Some examples of challenges are network issues, assistance required on approvals, getting stuck with a technical issue, and so on. To mitigate this, Scrum has a ceremony called Daily Stand-Up Meeting. This is also referred to as Daily Scrum. In Daily Stand-Up, the entire team meets every day for a short duration. You are free to choose the most appropriate time that suits for all the team members. One important point to consider here is that the time chosen should be the same for every day. Hence, if the team decides to have the stand-up meeting at say morning 11 a.m., then the daily stand-up has to happen at the same time every day. However, it is recommended to have it in the morning before everyone starts with their day's work. This way, the product owner can update the team about any critical updates that needs to be shared at the beginning of the day. Moreover, if developers have any concerns, then it makes sense to highlight and resolve them at the earliest. Due to these reasons, typically it happens around 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Meanwhile, it gives you a clear picture for the product owner and the Scrum Master to review what everyone is working on. During the stand-up meeting, each member takes their turn to answer few questions. There are no hard and fast rules about what has to be done. The common practice is to tell what did you do yesterday, what you plan to do today, and are there any obstacles you are facing. Depending upon the discussion, the product owner or the Scrum Master can assist the team members to remove these impediments. In case there are any impediments or challenges faced by the developers, then it can be captured along with the person responsible to take the action. This can be captured in the same Scrum tool and use it to track the status from open to in progress to close. This gives a visual representation of the action items that are added that needs to be acted upon by various team members. When it comes to the participants involved in the daily stand-up, often all developers and the Scrum Master are present. Product owner too is available most of the time. During those times wherein the product owner cannot make it to the meeting, then the Scrum Master can update him about any actions needed from the product owner. Next, let's look at holding daily stand-up meeting for the Campus Connect team. So in the previous step, you had seen how each of the team members have been using the board to track the list of all items, see the items that has been assigned to them, move it from one state to the other, and then once it is done, then pick the next item and so on. It's not going to happen in the same day. So it's going to take over a period of time for a team member to move it from to-do state to the done state. So what happens if they face any challenges or how to update the progress on a daily basis? So for this, you use the daily stand-up meeting. So during this stand-up meeting for the Campus Connect team, so all the team members are going to gather on everyday morning 9:30 a.m. and then go through each of the team members and see what he has or she has done for the previous day, what they have done current day, and what they are going to do for the forthcoming days. Moreover, in case they are going to face any challenges, they are going to bring up in this session. Ideally, during the daily stand-up meeting, the Scrum Master will be going through each of the items that has been assigned for each of the developers. So let's say Sanjay is also in progress and implement the business logic. Okay, so let's say this is the current state of the Campus Connect team. Then during the daily stand-up meeting, the Scrum Master goes through each of the items that is in progress. And then in case they have any challenges or any specific items that need to share with the team, then it will be done in this state. You can notice that there is no comments over here. That's why I strongly recommend you to enter the comments whenever you are working on these items. On a day-to-day basis, it is always good to key in some of the comments on a daily basis so that you as well as your team members knows what is happening to the task. So here we have starting with API test cases, create the test case documents, and then ideally when you had done with the task, you should have done it as API integration and checked in. Okay. And then when the Scrum Master goes through these details, then it becomes very seamless for all the team members to be on the same page. So in case, let's say Sanjay is facing an issue in implementing the RESTful APIs. He doesn't know about how to expose or what is the key requirement for the customer's point of view. In such cases, he can bring up in this stand-up meeting, and you as a Scrum Master should be able to solve this so that the person can go ahead with this work. Since Sanjay has brought up that he's still not clear about the requirements, he can add as a new task, clarify the key requirements for the API. And then this can be assigned either to Sanjay or any other members. Let's say I assign it to David. Hence, for this task, clarifying the key requirements for the API, the responsibility is with David. So if you now go to David's board, you can see that this task is assigned to him. Finally, I would like to show you one of the chart available in Sprint board, namely Burndown chart. So you can access this from the top right. So this chart is going to show you what is the ideal trend and the remaining efforts for the current sprint for your team. You see that currently it is blank. The reason being we have not given the capacity properly for this sprint. So if you go back to the capacity, so we have all these team members, but we have not assigned the capacity. Recollect that capacity refers to how much of the efforts can be spent by a given person per day. So in case of Azure DevOps, it is on hourly basis. So let's say a work hours is 8 hours per day, then you can assign 8 for each of these members. Then once done, save. And then here you choose the activity for them. So we have a different set of activities. It is just for your easier grouping. We have deployment, design, development, testing, and so on. So depending upon the role of the person, you can assign the different roles. But since in our case all are developers, I'm just going to assign it as development. Once done, you can see the progress that you have the remaining capacity, and for each it is also going to show you how much is pending from the team's point of view. Since we have not created the complete task and assigned to all the team members as well as estimating them, the list of available metric is lesser compared to the ideal stage. For instance, if you see for this specific date, you see the remaining capacity as 440. It means as a team, still they have 440 hours worth of task that can be completed. But our ideal trend shows just 38. The reason being we have not completely estimated for all the items. That's okay. But the concept here is that the burn down chart can be used to track how the team is progressing towards the end of the sprint goal. So ideally by the end of the sprint, that is going to be the last day of the sprint, all the task has been completed and the remaining capacity should be 0. That's the expectation.